Greetings, everyone. The hockey coach is a crucial part of every hockey team. This is a great responsibility and the only guaranteed way to get your own kid more playing time. But becoming a successful hockey coach takes lots of work. I have 10 years of hockey coaching experience and I'm here to share with you all my expert tips and tricks to becoming a success. So let's get started. How to be a hockey coach. Coaching philosophy. The start of each season requires that you explain to your players and parents your coaching philosophy. Many coaches really play on the fun aspect of playing the game and explain how everything will be focused on fun and development, but that is just a cheesy cop-out meant to not offend anyone by stating something boring and predictable. Instead, you should have an actual coaching philosophy. My philosophy is simple. We have 15 kids on the roster, and we need to get down to just 13 kids. I hope you understand. Our focus will be on winning, and that will be achieved by weeding out the weakest links and reducing playing time for those remaining slower players. We need a team that is aggressive, fast, and can make smart plays. By the end of this season, I hope to identify those players that will move on to the next level of hockey development while helping enlighten the remaining players that other sports exist for people with no real athletic ability or creativity, like baseball. Lesson plans. You will need to have a plan for how to get through the practice times to the fun part of being a coach, which is playing games. So in the practices, use the same 6 drills for every practice. This is key to make sure they are working on fundamentals and building that muscle memory that will allow them to dominate in competition. The 2 most crucial drills that you should include are circles and lines skating drills. You should run those 2 drills for about 20 minutes of every practice. Your next drill should be a complex breakout drill that requires 10 passes, with each player both going into and exiting from the defensive zone multiple times. Then finally, make sure you scrimmage for the second half of every practice. Remember, the goalie is just there to play in net. Since nobody on your staff was ever a goalie, just spend all of your dead time having your best adult assistant coach sniping on them all practice. But don't worry. There really is nothing to teach goalies. They have the easiest job on the ice. All they gotta do is stop the puck. Coaching. By the time the kids on your team are 10, they're probably already way better than you ever were at hockey anyway. But don't get deterred, because they can always hustle more. Make that the key theme in your coaching. Skate harder, hustle, and be the first to the puck. Yes, we all understand that these kind of mean the same thing, but you want to appear to be more observant than you actually are. Be sure and communicate that you are teaching a system, even though that system boils down to playing your position and hustling. Remember to use the word box when you are in the penalty kill so that you appear to have a system. For bonus points, you can always say that you are using a hybrid trap in the 1-2-2 system. Nobody knows what any of that means, not even other coaches, but you'll sound like you have your stuff together, and that is the goal. Board talk. Being a coach is awesome. You have 15 players who are basically forced to pay attention to every word you say. Use that to your advantage. The best use of your unique position as the center of their hockey universe is to spend 30 minutes or more per practice on board talk and walking through the drills and making sure you covered what to do in every single game scenario. Oftentimes, as you're talking on your board, new scenarios might jump into your mind. It's important to go into detail with every action so that they will remember all of the coaching and apply it to their gameplay. Motivation and building momentum. Use the score in the game to dictate your tone and your coaching approach. Even though you may have outplayed a team for an entire period, if you are losing 0-1 at the end of that period, be sure and lay into your players for not being aggressive and not hustling. Make sure and single out certain players for their mistakes that they made. It's the best way to motivate them to not repeat those mistakes. Threats can also be a motivating goldmine. Make sure that your players understand that they will likely not make the team next season if they make any mistakes in this game. Keeping your players on their toes is crucial, and keeping that healthy tension and stress present is a great approach. NHL players know that if they don't perform, they get kicked out of the league. Your players need to experience that stress to unlock their playing potential as well. Game conduct. Make sure it's clear to your players that the referees are against your team and will probably be the direct cause of your loss. Between each whistle, as a coach, make sure your voice is heard. The referees will probably feel bad if they keep making multiple calls that you disagree with, and will likely give you some makeup calls as long as you speak up. Keep reminding them that there are 2 teams and they should spend a little bit more time watching the other team instead of your own. Getting past the referee's thin skin can be tricky. What I found that works best is to pull out my phone and yell, "Hey ref, I found your phone. It says you have 4 missed calls." That usually works. Line control. If you are losing the game going into the last 5 minutes, it's time to take your time out, put your best 5 kids out there, then keep them out there for as long as it takes until they score. Because best kids beats fresh legs any day. Always include your own kid among that line, because today is probably his day to win this game for his dad. It's also imperative that you put your slowest and weakest skaters on defense, because when the play shifts back towards your zone, you want to rely on your fastest player stuck deep in the offensive zone to skate back and stop the rush. Shift management and fairness. Shift management is always the hot topic and source of confusion and debate with your parents. Do your best to play whoever you think should be played. You're the conductor and this is your orchestra. Since, as a coach, you likely have zero concept of time, insist on a 24-hour contact the coach rule for your team and pray that your parents either forget or get worried about the repercussions of their complaint after they've had that long to think about it. Because in the end, your parents are way too scared to speak their minds after they've had 24 hours. Because guess what? They want to make the team next year too. See? You win. Favoritism. You are the coach and your kid has great potential. Other kids might look better now, but your kid has something they don't. Their dad is the coach. Looks like he'll be first line center all season. If it's broke, don't fix it. You developed your system and your lines, and you should be determined to see it succeed. Even if you start losing a bunch of games and the team chemistry on the ice with the lines you put together doesn't seem to work, you can't just give up. You're like Brad Pitt in Moneyball. You can't just abandon your strategy in the face of adversity, because the second you change your lines is when all of the work to create line chemistry goes out the window. Stick with your plan no matter what. The only acceptable change that you can have is sending your own kid out there more often. Ringers. Every great team needs a little help when the stakes get high. If your team gets deep into a tournament and they have some super challenging games ahead, it's best to go find other amazing players from other teams and throw them onto your team silently. That way you can win those championships. Don't worry about your current players, they'll understand the need. Stealth mode. Direct interactions with parents must be avoided at all costs. Memorize the layout of every rink you will be practicing or playing at. It is crucial that nobody can find you before or after practices. A coach must know all of the secret entrances and exits to use in order to avoid direct contact with parents. Get your coffee before you get to the rink. Do not risk waiting until you get to the rink to get coffee, because inevitably you will be stuck captive for 3 minutes or more talking to your least favorite parent who feels the need to provide her perspective on what the team needs to start doing to improve. And this leads right into team lunches and dinners. Avoid going to team lunches and dinners wherever possible. These are for the parents to get together and gossip about the team, the players, and the season. If you attend, you will consistently be put on the spot answering questions whose real answers would hurt the feelings of certain players on your team. And you will always be sat next to the parent who needs to critique the entire team while seeing nothing but perfection in their own child. If you are forced to go to a team meal, try and grab a small table with your assistant coaches and use that small table to protect yourself from other parents and kids. And this is a crucial tip. Do not drink at a team lunch or dinner. No, it's not so you can set a good example for the kids. It's so that you don't say something you will regret in front of the parents when you let your guard down. You are deep behind enemy lines at this point. Don't blow this. Benefits. Who says a volunteer position can't provide you with some benefits? Like any business, you just need to identify the need and market your ability to fill that need. In this case, every parent wants their kid to be playing more during the games. And guess what? You have the ability to fill that need. Creativity for how you are compensated will be up to you and the parents. But sporting event tickets, hefty store discounts, job opportunities, or even just cash money are always great options. And it's not unethical because you are making your service open to all of your parents. It's not your fault if they don't care about their kids as much as other parents. Team manager. You need a team manager to organize. Pick the hottest mom on the team. It doesn't matter if she can't figure out the whole email thing or couldn't organize an event to save her life. The dads on the team will do a much better job paying attention to the team if you choose her. Communication. Make sure all of the communication that you send to the team includes only half of the information the parents and players actually need to make plans. Then don't respond to any clarifying response emails until the night before the event. So at 9 p.m. the night before the game, be sure and clarify that, yes, indeed, they will need a leather and Velcro neck pad that is Canada Hockey compliant. Then, the morning of the game, be sure and also point out that the neck pad must have been red and definitely not black. Also make sure that locations are nondescript. Say something like, yep, we're practicing at the Dome at 6:30 tomorrow. Okay, well, where is that? Which dome is this? What's the address? Leave them questioning. Thank you all so much for stopping by and learning my expert tips and tricks on how to become the most successful hockey coach that you can be. Best of luck to all of you hockey coaches, and I'll see you at the rink.